Hello. Welcome to the next and final tutorial in how to use Jquery Datatable with ASP.NET and Microsoft SQL Server. Last week we learned how to add. Last week the first video was an introduction to Jquery Datatable. The second video was an introduction to Microsoft SQL Server, and then how to write stored procedures. The third video was how to use the three to get data into your Jquery Datatable. Last week we learned how to add. So far in this series we've learned how to get and then how to add. Today we will learn how to edit and then how to delete, and then that will end our code operation series. There are so many things you can do with Jquery Datatable. Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do, and share the video to your friends, like, and then click on the notification button so that you will be the first to know when I drop another video. Okay, so as I mentioned last week, we did the add. So we learned how to add a new employee, as you can see here. So today we will learn how to edit our employee table records. As of now, there is no real function behind the edit button. So we will first get into writing the stored procedure. Then SP for the edits, and then in the add, it's not there is not really a big difference. So I'll just copy this template, go into my demo database, which is the database we are linked to. Go to programmability, open stored procedure. So as you can see, we have two stored procedures here already, the add and then the get. So we will create the edit stored procedure. Push this here. Copy this here. The name of the DB here. And then we put this inside the begin and end structure. Take this out now. Okay, so we will change this to edit employee. edit employee. Let's copy and paste the variables from the add employee. Format it a bit. Then we say that update the table, which is employee. So we say update employee, set full name, which is database object, to this variable full name. That will go for the rest of them. Phone number, this phone number, nationality, this variable nationality, and then email address for the variable email address here. Take this out. We'll take this out. Then we say where ID is equal to ID. So we need to also create an ID variable. Okay. So let's run and see if our code is correct. Good. So it says the command completed successfully. Then it gives you the time and date that we performed this operation. Okay, so let me go over this code again. So we say create the procedure, edit employee. These are the parameters that we will take and then push into the update values. So it says so we have ID, full name, phone number, nationality, email address. Then we say update the employee table with these values. So where you see the full name DB object, apply this variable to it, and that goes for the rest. And then you see where the ID is equal to this ID. So we will use the ID of the employee to update their records. Okay, so let's refresh, and then we have our edit employee. Sorry. Okay, so let's jump straight into our Visual Studio, and then create the edit model. Again, it is we'll use the same templates as we did for the add, then just change the names. So instead of I'll say edit here. Let me just copy this and paste. Edit. Please, if you need to pause, please do, and make sure you are following what I'm doing step by step at your own pace. Don't rush yourself. Make sure your code is working. And if you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section down there, just below this video. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. Okay, great. And let's move up into our edit button and take out the alert. And copy the model here. Before we do that, there's a code we write to make sure that the user selects a record before they hit the edit button. So basically, we want to write a logic that says if the user hasn't selected the record and they hit the edit button, pop up an alert saying that please select a record. So I just copy the template of the code I use in doing that. I will explain to you how it works. But first, we need to assign our Jquery Datatable to a variable. So we will assign this whole block to a variable, and we will call it employee table. Okay. Okay. We'll call it employee table. Good. So there are no issues for. Okay. Now, basically, what this code says is that if let's change this to the variable we just created. If the table has been selected, meaning if a record has been selected, then show us the modal, else. So here we say else alert so here we say else show us an alert. please select an employee. Please select an employee. Basically, so we'll change this to employee table. So if one record is selected, then show us the modal. But if not, then show us this alert, basically. Let's take this block out. So let's see if that works. Let's reload. Let's click. So see, please select an employee. We select an employee. There is an error. Let's inspect the error. Cut. Okay. So there's an error. Let's try and fix the error. Okay, so I think I forgot to change the employee ID for the modal in the template I just pasted. So change that, change this. This is just to focus on the first text box. So let's also change this. Okay, and before we continue, let's test again. Great. So now our agent employee pops up. Good. Let's go back to the code. And then we need to reset the input fields. So what we will do is change the IDs for the input, which is already here in the add section. So we have full name here. We have phone number. Let's take this out. Nationality. And then email address. The edit employee message here. Good. What this code achieves is to pre-fill the inputs with the values shown here. So if I click the edit button, the full name should come, the phone number should come, the nationality should come, and then the email address should also come. So Isaac should show here. Isaac's phone number should show here, nationality, and then his email address. And if you realize I have made a mistake and it was intentional because I want to use it to edit the phone number section. So we've created a variable that will store the selected row in the table. So we need to create an ID that will store the ID we have created here. Change this, no label. Let's say hidden. TXT. Take this out of the add section. It's supposed to be in the edit section. Paste it here. TXT edit ID. Copy that. And then paste in the edit section. So here. Okay, so is a row.id, row.full name, which is this one. Row.phone number. Row.nationality. I'm just copy it from here. Email address as well. Good. So let's see if that also works. So if I select anything, it pops on the alert. If I select, click edit, you will realize that, okay, there is a mistake here. This should be hidden. So I need to change the type to hidden for the ID here. Hidden. Take this one out. Okay. Let's see. Edit full name. Row.full name. Row.email address. Let me save and then run again and see if it will work. Still not working. You see what's happening here? I'm using the wrong IDs for the edit, so I'll just change the add to edit. Save, refresh the page, and then great. So now the name shows. Let's change the phone number now. Nothing will happen because we've not written the edit function code in our source, in our controller, sorry, and there is no click a function for this button, and we need to change this to edit instead of add. But now we can pre-fill our form when we want to edit. So if you want to change just this, you can just change and move on like that. Let's go and change the button to edit and change this to edit, btn edit. Great. And copy this block, and again we will just change the names, change the add to edit, copy btn add employee, edit, add to edit. We'll do that for all of them. We need the ID to edit a record. So save. So that's it for the btn edit employee button. So if I select make any changes here and I hit the edit button, it should go to the controller and then to the database. So let's go to our controller and create this edit employee function. Again, we'll just copy and paste this. Same logic, but different names. Then you add the ID because it expects an ID here. So you add the ID. And then you increase the array from 4 to 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. And then we add the ID here. ID, full name, phone number, nationality, email, address. Change the name of the stop procedure to edit employee. Save. And this should work. So let's run our application and see if, let's first place the debugger here and run. Okay, let's edit Isaac. Let's change, let's put his full name here. Jquery 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. East of release. Let's click the edit button. It works. Let's see that its ID is 4. Full name is Isaac Jquery. Phone number 0470, blah blah blah. Nationality. The nationality didn't come, which is an error. And then the email address. So let's go back and check why the nationality didn't come. I see. It's supposed to be edit, not add. So let's stop debugging. Let's come here and then restart. Okay, let's do this again. Isaac Jquery. Okay. His ID is 4. Let's check if that is true here. Inside a table employee, let's select top 1000. The 4th ID is Isaac Jquery. Okay, means our code is working perfectly. This is his phone number. That is his full name. The one just changed, and then we altered his phone number too. Great, nationality now shows, and his email address is also there. Let's step. It's the F11, and it says our code is working perfectly. It says message success. So let's hit the continue button, and there we have it. Our changes have been initiated. So we have Isaac Jquery here, and this is this info. I also realized that I made another error in donor sales records concerning his email address. So let's also change that one. Change this from dot to at. Let's edit. Go straight into. So now we know the code is working, so we can take the debugger off and hit the continue, and there it is. Great. So this concludes how we edit records using Jquery Datatable in ASP.NET MVC. As you can see in our DB, all the changes we made is here. The at, I changed from dot at, I changed it from just Isaac to Isaac Jquery, and then I placed his phone number there. Next, so let's move on to how to delete a record from our DB. And to do that, all you need is the ID of the record. So let's first start from the controller. Let's create the delete. Let's stop debugging to take these red lines off. Let's change this to delete. Delete employee and take these off because, as I said, we need just the ID. We need just the ID. So if I select the employee I want to delete and just hit the delete button, it should just take that person off. And we will take all these out. Just need one record here. We'll change this to delete employee. Save. So we've created the delete function inside our controller. Now we are working our way back. So from controller to view, and then we get to the DB. Okay. So there's the code I've already written for the delete. So we just copy as usual and just paste that code in there. So we take the alert out and paste it here. Change this to the name of the table, our Jquery Datatable, employee table, employee table. So basically it says that until the person selects a record, don't show the modal. So you add an else here. You add an else here, else let's show us an alert. Please select an employee. Paste that here, just as we did for the edit. Then we'll change the name of the. Then we'll create a modal and change its name. So from delete, we'll say delete employee. Delete employee, and then we will use the ID of that employee. So tst delete ID. Create a hidden input. Good. So it says select the employee, show the modal, use the ID of the employee to perform the delete function. So let's create the modal delete employee. Let's, as usual, copy this. Let me change this to edit. I forgot to do that for clarity sake. Change this to edit. Okay, let me just go back to my old codes. Select and delete modal here. Go back to come back here, paste it here. Change this to delete employee. Okay. Where is our hidden ID? Hidden ID. This is our hidden ID. Let's also change that one to the txt delete employee ID. Let's here. Delete employee ID. Yeah. Paste it here. And then we say, are you sure you want to delete the selected employee? If yes, then you hit btn delete employee. So yes, no, no, closes the modal, yes, performs the delete function. So again, let's copy this block here, and the delete AJAX, we don't need the validation codes, so we take them out, and we need just the ID, so we take these out. The name of the function we created in our controller is delete employee, so we paste that one to here, and we change the ID to delete underscore employee ID. Okay, great. So this is our delete employee AJAX. Let's see if what we've done works so far before we write our stored procedure. Okay, please select an employee. Let's select an employee. Delete. Great. It says, are you sure you want to delete the selected employee? Let's hit yes. Let's come here inside our controller and place the debugger here first. Let's hit yes. Let's see. Okay. Let's inspect our error. Okay. Table is not defined, meaning we've made an error inside our view. We should change, I'm sure, somewhere here. Inside our delete, it's table. Let's see where exactly that will show. 244. employee to delete employee. Delete employee. Oh, now I see where the error is. btn delete, not edit. Okay, so now let's see. Delete. Great, works perfectly now. So this is the ID of the employee, but you've not yet created the delete employee stored procedure inside our database, so it will return an error. Let's see. As expected, it says could not find stored procedure dbu delete employee. So let's stop debugging, go into our database, Microsoft SQL Server, and create the SP for delete employee. So I'll just again copy one of my old stored procedures, come here, create. New one here. Let me paste it below instead and just copy the names, replace it with what we've copied, delete employee, and then add our parameters. Again, as I said, it only takes one parameter, which is the int. Then inside our block, we don't need this. So inside our block, we copy the delete and then the where here. Now we can take these ones out. So basically, you see create store procedure delete employee, which is the same as the name we have created here. Delete employee. And pick the ID of the employee, use that ID to delete that particular employee from our employee table. From our employee table, where the ID of that employee is equal to the ID that is pushed from our controller to the DB. If you remember, it was 4. So let's run this SP. Okay, says where employee, where ID is equal to that ID. Let's just refer to our old one. Okay. So let's just copy. Great. all I did was just highlight the entire block and then hit the execute button. So now we have our delete employee. Let's try and then run again and see if the record will be deleted. So let's delete basic entry. Yes. Move straight to our debugger. ID is 4. So we are pushing the ID to the DB. Message is successful. Let's continue. And then realize that Isaac entry is gone. So let's take out our debugger now and delete John Osei. Let's see. Sorry. Delete John Osei is also gone. Let's come to our DB. Refresh the table. Realize it's left with John Mensah, Kofi, and Sam, which is what is here. John Mensah, Kofi, and Sam. Okay, so guys, this concludes our tutorial on how to perform a CRUD operation in ASP.NET using Jquery Datatable. In our part 2, we will look at using the paid version of Jquery Datatable. Also, I will be doing some videos on how to do some tech hacks on your own. So watch out for that DIY series too. Please subscribe, like, and then share, and leave any comments below inside the comment section. I will surely reply to them. Thank you, and until our next video, have a great day.